Good morning, everybody. Just first of all, I'd like to thank everybody for coming out. Appreciate all the support. As we all know, being in this business, covering it, coaching, playing, a lot of days are spent away from family and friends. But appreciate all your guys' support throughout the year. Hate for it to end this way, the way it did, but a lot of things that's happened this season I'm very proud of. A lot of growth in a lot of areas that we can move forward, and knowing that we've improved as a team. Our goal is always to be an elite basketball team and make the playoffs and fight for a championship. It did not happen this year. But the thing I'm proud of, we've never made an excuse. We kept fighting, kept challenging each other to stick together and stay positive, and I thought that happened. When times where you can easily have said, it's too hard, it's too tough, another setback, but none of the guys did that, and that's a sign of a championship organization with a group of guys that you can fight with and go to battle with every night, with the group that I have, and I'm thankful for the opportunity that I've had with the group all year long to fight with them. It's unfortunate that we weren't able to control our own destiny last night, but all in all, I thought the guys fought and stuck together all season long. Questions? Michael.
When you talk about not being able to control your destiny last night, how much is that due to obviously there were several games throughout the year where you had chances to win, but things, whether it was free throw shooting, some bad possessions in the game, just didn't go your way? Because how much is that just letting games get away?
Well, I think every team, and I've done it every year. You look back, even the last 2 years we've won 59 and 60 games. You still look back, you know what? We could have won, 3 or 4 more of those games, and this year is no different. We can look back and say, things would have, the ball would have bounced our way. We would have played better defense in the fourth quarter. We would have made some free throws throughout the game, but those things happen. I don't think you can dwell on those things. You have to understand that all of our guys have tried to do their best every night, and we came up a game short into our goal of having a chance to compete for a championship. We know there's a lot of things that were challenges that we've had to overcome that were pretty large obstacles, but we still competed together, and I'm proud of that.
How would you assess your team's defensive performance this year?
You know what? First of the year, very good. When Kevin and Russell went out, we had to really change the way we played on both ends. There's a lot of production on the offensive end. We couldn't score, but we still had that defensive mentality. And then we made the trade. Our offense is probably the best in the league since February. The most offensive talent we've ever had here. But our defense needs to get better. But a lot of good things happen. Serge being out the last 18 games doesn't help the defense. Nick missing 9 games in a critical part of the season doesn't help the defense. But with that being said, we still needed to be a better defensive team. We didn't have a lot of practice time. We didn't have a training camp with this group. Going into next season, we will be a better defensive team with all the offensive talent that we do have. With the training camp, with the practice, a lot of guys didn't practice last season or the later part of the season just from nursing injuries and the wear and tear of a season and trying to make sure that they were ready to play in games. So a lot of things have happened, but that's no excuse. We still needed to be a better defensive team in order to compete and to be a playoff team.
Coach, going into this next season, you talked about there's going to be a lot of optimism. You got pretty much everybody coming back, and the silver lining from this season is you probably tried a lot of experimental things because of those injuries. Do you see maybe going into next season, having experienced this season, you maybe a little stronger than you could have been if you had just played what we'd call a typical Thunder season?
Well, there's with all the challenges that we've had. We've had a lot of injuries, and from the start of the year to the very end of the year, a lot of times, when they happen early, all of us, including myself, well, it's better to get them over early in the season, but that didn't stop happening. The 2 twisted ankles back-to-back games didn't help us with Nick and Dre, Serge, his injuries. But we never made an excuse. We kept fighting and kept staying together. And like I said, I love to go to battle with these guys because they did it every night. But the optimism is there. We have a very talented basketball team, and another year of experience is going to get us to being a better team. Even the guys that did not play, Kevin has improved this year because he has been able to see the game differently, and he's always had a big love for the game. But when the game is taken away, 55 games in a season, you look at things a little different. And I thought his leadership, without being on the court, was a big part of our reason we had a chance to be in the playoffs.
You're entering the last year guaranteed of your deal. Do you feel secure in your future here moving forward?
Yeah, I expect to be the coach. I'm proud to be the coach of this organization. I love being here. I expect to be the coach next season. I understand in this business, I've been a player for probably more years than I deserve to have been a player, and as a coach in this business, in the business of sports, there's always going to be speculation. You have to be able to do your job regardless of what's out there, and I'm proud to be here, and I'm excited about the talent that we have here. Sam is during this season, he added a lot of players and players that are going to get better. We haven't had. That's another area that it's disappointing that we did not make the playoffs. Playoffs is another level. Being in the playoffs in Oklahoma City is even another level in most cities just because of the excitement in the crowd, but the pressure of the games. We have a lot of guys that haven't experienced that. Really, during the last 8 or 9, or during the last month of the season, out of the top rotation guys, Nick and Russell are the only guys that really have a lot of playoff experience. So it would have been great that those other guys would have had a chance to compete against Golden State. Obviously, we would have been the underdog, but we were excited about that opportunity. But it didn't happen. But I'm not worried about what's out there. I'm worried about coaching the team and getting the team better going into next season.
Yeah, that said, would you like to maybe rework your deal so it's not just one final season?
No, I've never, as a player, you sign a deal, you sign a deal. And as a coach, I'm the same way. I will honor. It's always about doing your job and doing the best of your abilities. I have confident enough in what we've done here over the last 7 years is really special. It doesn't happen a lot. There's only been a few teams. We haven't won a championship, but we've done a lot of things that put us in that position. We've had some unfortunate bad fortune with going back to 3 years ago. So you never really know what this team can really be until it can stay healthy throughout the season, and most importantly, this part of the season.
Perspective, what Russell Westbrook did this season, given his own injury, given the injuries around him, to come through that and win a scoring title.
Well, there's a lot of things I'm proud of about our organization and about this season, and one of them is Russell. Russell has really improved his ability to lead. This is really the first time he's had to be without Kevin. And Kevin is one of the best players in the world. And to be without Kevin for the games that he has missed, and Russell has been able to lead us and put us in a position to be fighting for a playoff spot. I'm proud of that. Him leading the league in scoring, I don't think you will probably talk to Russell later on today or tomorrow. That is not what excites him. He's going to be a scorer in this league, and we're without Kevin and without Russell, there's extra shots to be had. But leading the league in scoring, that's going to probably be great when he's 40 years from now, when he's the most athletic grandpa talking to his grandkids. That it's going to be pretty cool that he led the league in scoring one year. But right now, that's not exciting for Russell, and he's disappointed that he is not in the playoffs fighting and competing against Steph Curry.
When did you get better leadership-wise? You say he improved. What are the things that you just got better?
Well, the patience. We've had a group of, over the last 4 or 5 years, we've had a nucleus that we've had for a while. And the challenge for him this year was during this transition with all the new players and the trades and the young players that don't have the playoff experience is to continue to challenge them in a positive but constructive way, as the leader of the team has to do. And Russell is as competitive as a guy I've ever been around, and he was able to do that. He made that transition at times very seamless. We had a great February and a great March. We struggled in April down the stretch. It's unfortunate that was a big part of the season. You have to play your best basketball down the stretch, and we did not do that. So, but I thought Russell was good all year in just leading this team and understanding what we had to go through night in and night out, and sticking with the guys and believing in the guys and getting the guys better along the way of his improvement.
How close
What do you do with Cantor, a guy that obviously a great scorer for you, but struggles on defense? It's the opposite of what you had with Burke. It seems like you're back to square one with trying to fix a hole in one of your players. Can it be fixed?
Absolutely. I think he's a terrific scorer, and he's a rebounder. Summer, training camp, and understanding what we do. He didn't practice much the last 2 or 3 weeks because he was nursing some ankle injuries or some soreness. But I think a training camp will help his understanding what we do defensively. He has to improve in that area. And I think you can get guys to do that a lot easier than you can get guys to score 20 points and get you 14 rebounds night in and night out. He's been really good on that end of the floor, but he's definitely, not only him, but as a group, we have to get better. And you do that with experience, and this group coming back another year and having Serge as our defensive anchor. We all know that, how important he is defensively. Not only does he block 3 or 4 shots, he alters, and then he can guard 1 through 5. And even KD, KD has that long arm of his. It's hard to shoot over, and then he can guard 1 through 4. But I think with those two guys, with Cantors and Steven, we can be a really good defensive team.
How close was Serge to being able to play? And what's his status right now? How's he feeling?
He's still in the middle of his rehab process. He wouldn't have been able to play the first couple of games for sure, and more than likely he probably wouldn't have played the first round. But he is improving every day. He's going to continue to finish up his rehab and improve also coming back next year. That's another bright spot. Serge is a worker. He works every day and comes back better every summer. And he was playing his best basketball. I think his last stretch of games, 10 or 12 games, he was averaging nearly 20 and 10. But the last 18 games of missing Serge has that was a tough setback that we had to overcome. Didn't quite overcome it.
Coach, there's always a lesson. There's always a take-home message. Overall, if there's one thing you wanted the guys to take away from this season with as they move into the postseason, what would it be?
A lot of the things that we did is staying together. This is a season that we could have easily have, you know what, it wasn't our year. We had a lot of things that did not go our way, but we still stuck together. And I think that's what makes this a unique and special environment that we play in. Our fans have done a great job of supporting us all year and understanding what we were going through. Nobody is feeling sorry for us, nor do we want anybody to feel sorry for us. And we still did our job every day, and we still stuck together and stayed positive and charged together and tried to move the group together. And they will definitely hear that all summer long from us. But another thing, we have to understand that we have to keep improving, and we should. We have a lot of young players. Kevin, Serge, Russell are, mid-20s. Steven, Ennis, 21, 22, Mitch, 22, 23. So we have a lot of young players that are going to get better. And the message is take advantage of these next 4 or 5 months and get better and come back a better player.
How do you feel Deion Waiters fit into all of this? And then how do you see him fitting in going forward with so many offensive players now?
Yeah, well, everybody, when we're whole, it's going to be about sacrificing. But that's what all the great teams have done to win a championship. That's what we've done to put ourselves in the position to win championships, is that we've had to sacrifice. We have a lot of offensive talent that's going to have to blend together. We've done a good job with that. Since February, I think we led the league in scoring, and then having the best scorer in the world coming back, we're going to be even better. And those are things that I want to improve on as a staff on both ends of the floor. But we have to be able to integrate all the players and all the talented players that we have here.
Any staff changes, and that doesn't even mean switching coaches, but anything you can do differently to get the defense better going? Because you had Ron to help with the defense. He was left. Keith was your defensive guy. He's gone. What can you do to coaching-wise to
I think every summer we always, after every season, I always evaluate myself and our team and our staff and how we can improve and get better. The thing is, I've always said this, the last 3 or 4 years we've been a top 5 defensive team and a top 5 offensive team. I think in order to have sustained success in this league, you have to be a two-way team, and sometimes you have to be able to integrate your best defensive players with your best offensive players and mix match and try to find the best combination. And even this year, prior to the All-Star break, I think we were second in the league in defensive field goal percentage. That has obviously dropped the last 6 or 7 weeks. A lot to do with it. We've had some pretty good defensive players missing games. I feel confident when we're whole, we can be one of the top 5 two-way teams in the league again.
As you enter next year, there's obviously contract status and players' injuries. What do you want the mindset of this team to be and the organization as you enter the next season?
Optimism. This is a team that is going to get better. This is a team that, we have to get healthy, and we will. All the guys will come back healthy. We will have, and then we will all come back better players. There's only everybody on this team is young enough to keep improving, and they will get better individually, and then as a group we will come back a better team. So the optimism is something that I believe in. I believe in this team. I believe in the group of guys that we have here. It's a talented group. It's a group that gets along. The chemistry is good. Within a year that chemistry could have been a problem, and at times it was, but at times it was really good. And I thought going into next year, it's going to be as good as it ever has been.
Thank you, Coach.
Guys, thank you. At times the chemistry was bad. I mean, we've made some changes and things improved, and with the transition of players coming in, you never know how guys will respond to one another. But I thought DJ was a terrific locker room guy. Ennis, Kyle, and Novak all came in and really gave us a boost in that area. But I'm proud of the guys that we have. You know, Sam has always brought in guys that believe in what we do, that are sacrificing themselves for the betterment of the team. And going forward, we have a group, and obviously we will have opportunities to add to our talented team.
Thank you, Coach.
You guys have a good day.